Chapter 20. Family Ties. Jade opened her eyes and discovered a blanket over her head. She saw a bluish light emanating from a nearby table. As she lay there, wondering whether she had just experienced an incredibly vivid dream, she reviewed the details in her head and concluded it was real. Slowly, she pulled the blanket down, relieved to find herself still in the same room where she and Serafina had conversed earlier. Jade glanced at the blue light, realizing it was a digital clock. Astonishingly, 9 hours had elapsed since she had fallen asleep. Normally, after an enjoyable and exciting experience, she would only sleep for a few hours. Rolling out of bed, Jade was thankful that she was still wearing the same clothes from the previous day, rather than some embarrassing pajamas. After finishing her morning routine, she ventured into a corridor connecting to the large chamber. Walking down the hallway, she observed numerous holographic screens and lights. A group of young men in bluish uniforms walked by without acknowledging her presence, which Jade found quite rude, especially since she found 2 of them attractive. Shaking it off, she reminded herself that this wasn't her reason for being there. She continued her search for Serafina. Emerging from the hallway into the technological sphere, Jade spotted Serafina working at a holographic screen. As she approached, Jade couldn't help but remind herself that this was indeed real and not a dream.
Good to see you're awake,
Serafina said.
Yeah, thanks. I usually don't sleep that long.
Don't worry, you needed your rest.
I guess. So what are you working on?
Just some calculations regarding your planet's population.
Sounds exciting.
Jade remarked.
It's not.
As finished her message, another notification appeared indicating she needed to meet with Izri immediately.
Excuse me, Jade, I'll be right back.
Okay.
While Serafina headed to Izri's office, Jade accessed a terminal and started exploring. But she quickly realized she was limited by various restrictions. She decided to refrain from attempting to hack anything. The last thing she wanted was to anger the aliens.
What do you need?
Serafina asked upon her return.
Telmar is dead,
Izri stated.
What?
Telmar is dead. He was murdered and we didn't retrieve his program. He's lost for good.
How do you know?
What I'm about to show you is highly classified, understand?
Absolutely.
Izri typed a few keys on a nearby holographic screen, and a recording of the encounter between Telmar and Melchior started to play, ending right after Telmar's death.
How did you get this?
Serafina inquired.
We received it from Telmar as soon as he made contact with who we believed to be Zakai.
He sent this to you?
Yes, via his PIEC, which recorded the entire thing. Such loyalty from a floater.
It didn't sound like it. Based on what I saw, Telmar seemed to be working with Melchior. That traitor sabotaged Adam and endangered Reese, Jade, and me.
Izri looked into Serafina's eyes and said,
He was far from a traitor. We instructed Telmar to sabotage Adam to gain Melchior's trust. It was a small risk for a greater gain.
I don't understand. Are you saying you made Melchior believe Telmar was a rogue herder who no longer wanted to work for Prime 2?
Exactly. But we didn't know Melchior was leading the Guardians. We suspected a council member, but weren't certain. Once we realized Telmar was using Jade as a scapegoat, we ordered him to stop and erase the false connections he had established between her and Adam. Telmar wasn't aware of Jade's significance, and for that, I take the blame. At that point, Melchior began to suspect Telmar, but we couldn't jeopardize Jade. We never anticipated that Melchior would inspect his Guardians as he did with Telmar.
Do you think Melchior knew Telmar was a floater, initially posing as a lost herder and later becoming a fake Guardian?
I doubt Melchior knew,
Izri affirmed.
Why is Jade so important?
Serafina questioned.
You don't need that information now.
Izri replied firmly.
I see. So should we show this video to the council, or perhaps to Zakai?
No, we haven't identified all the council members' motives yet.
How do we proceed?
That's where you come in, Serafina.
What do you need me to do?
First, I need to distinguish floaters from Guardians among the other council members.
Serafina interjected.
You mean 13?
No, 11. Shifra died after resigning and Corinth has been recycled.
Serafina looked shocked.
How?
No time for that. Among the council members, Quartus, Mileva, Willow, and I have identified as floaters. Melchior and Uzziah are confirmed Guardians. Abner, O'Shea, Elimas, Kyria, and Zakai are unknown.
Can I ask where Shifra stood?
Shifra was a floater. Corinth was a Guardian.
I knew Shifra wouldn't have been so close-minded. I'll miss her.
I'll miss her too,
Izri said, placing his hand on Serafina's shoulder. Finding solace in his gesture, Serafina inquired.
What's our next step?
For now, I need you to join Oliver's team.
Isn't his team heading to Australia?
Yes.
How does that help me identify the unknown council members and their agendas?
Some herders involved in the virus outbreak might have vital information. You'll infiltrate their kindred, posing as one of them. Once you gain their trust, try to determine if they follow Prime 2 or Melchior. Their identities will be downloaded to your consciousness during your next rest.
Can't we access the herders on this planet?
Perhaps, but we can't be sure of their loyalties. There's concern that the programmers maintaining Prime 2's program might be manipulating it. Either way, we need to eliminate suspicion and find herders biased toward a certain faction.
Izri glanced at Serafina's tattoo, saying,
I'm sorry, but that tattoo must go. Your cover will be blown if there's a guardian within the Australian kindred.
I'll remove it immediately.
One last matter to address,
Izri added.
And that is?
Do not become personal with Spencer. I told you what your connection with him was because I did not want you to be confused as to why you may have personal feelings towards him. We need to keep this on a professional level. Are you grasping what I'm saying?
Yes, you do not need to worry about it.
Good.
When do I leave?
Now, get a new vehicle and head to the airport. You will fly out of JFK after meeting up with Oliver's team, and all of you will head to Australia together. Oliver will brief you on mission specifics.
What about Jade?
I will take care of Jade, and at some point return her to Reese.
When will that be?
Hopefully no more than 3 days. I need to speak to her about a few things. You need to focus on the task at hand.
I will.
Good, now get going. Have a safe trip and take care of yourself.
Will do.
Serafina turned towards the exit and walked out, wondering how she was going to suppress her emotions for Spencer. As she approached Jade, she started to feel real concern for her safety. Serafina did not feel comfortable leaving Jade with Izri. She was not sure of his true intentions. Serafina knew there was more to Jade than people were letting on, and certain specifics she had not yet discovered.
But what were they?
She asked herself.
Hi, Jade. Having fun, are we? You did not try to hack into any of our databases, did you?
Not knowing Serafina was joking, Jade responded with the utmost seriousness.
No, ma'am, I would never.
Calm down. I was only playing with you.
Of course.
Smiled Jade, feeling slightly relieved.
Can I come with you?
Asked Jade.
I wish I could take you, but I will not be able to.
Why?
Because I cannot. But do not worry, I will not be gone long, and while I am away, Izri will look after you.
Izri, that's that old guy who was being a jerk when we first arrived here. I don't want to stay with him.
Do not worry, it's only going to be for a few days until we get you back with Reese.
A few days? Why can't I go back now? What does he plan to do? He's not going to, dissect me or anything?
Asked Jade with a concerned look.
What are you talking about? No one is going to dissect you. Why would you say such a thing?
I don't know. I figured because you're all aliens. Isn't that what you aliens do?
Jade, we may be from different planets, but our biological makeup is the same as yours. Trust me, the last thing we are interested in is dissecting you.
Laughed Serafina.
Oh, I'm glad you think this is so funny.
Snapped Jade.
I am sorry, I did not mean to laugh. Please, trust me, you will be fine. Izri wants to ask you a few questions and explain some things to you, okay?
Do I have a choice?
Yes, when he speaks to you, do not listen. And if he asks you questions, do not answer.
Okay.
Laughed Jade.
I can be difficult.
I'm sure you can, but do not feel you need to. And I promise I will see you soon.
You better.
Replied Jade while hugging Serafina. As Serafina walked down the stairs and headed towards an equipment locker, Izri called for Jade and asked her to meet him in his office. Jade reluctantly complied and found disappointment in what she saw. Jade imagined Izri's office to be more sophisticated looking, but it was merely an average-sized room with one holographic screen, a square table with 3 chairs, and a small wall safe. The only pleasing object in the office was the symbol Jade kept seeing throughout the complex, a horizontal figure 8. On the backside of the table sat Izri, who was sipping a cup of coffee and reviewing some documents.
Hello, you asked to see me?
Said Jade as she stood outside.
Yes, I did. Please come in, have a seat.
Jade walked up to the closest chair, and right before she pulled it out, it moved, allowing her to sit.
What is this, some automatic chair?
Asked Jade.
No, our species is telekinetic and telepathic. We can move and communicate with our minds.
Explained Izri.
I know what telekinesis and telepathy are.
I am sure you do. Listen, Jade, I think you and I started on the wrong foot.
You think?
Yes, and I want to apologize. This is no excuse, but I've had quite a stressful last couple of days. I'm sure you can relate to that.
I can.
replied Jade, wondering what Izri was trying to get at.
Would you like anything to drink or eat?
Jade sat there as her stomach growled, but felt she was going to keep it to herself for now and try to get something later.
No, I'm all set.
Are you sure? You appear to be hungry.
What, are you like reading my mind?
No. The only time we read someone's mind is if we have their permission or we suspect them of a crime. I do not have your permission and you have not done anything illegal. I asked because I heard your stomach gurgling.
Feeling a little embarrassed, Jade responded.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm a little bit hungry. Do you have any cereal or something?
We certainly do.
Smiled Izri as he reached over to his holographic screen and typed in a few keystrokes.
It should be here shortly. I also took the liberty to add some orange juice, eggs, and fruit if that is okay with you.
That's fine.
So you are probably wondering why I asked to speak with you.
The thought did cross my mind.
And so it should. Jade, has anyone ever told you that you are unique?
Jade's voice lowered in tone.
My dad used to tell me that all the time.
Did your dad ever tell you why?
Jade looked up with curiosity.
What do you mean?
Did he ever tell you about your true destiny?
Jade laughed.
True destiny? No, he never said anything about my true destiny. Why?
One request I have of you, Jade, is simple. Tell the truth. I would rather have you tell me you'd rather not talk about it than fabricate the truth.
At this point, Jade started to become defensive and replied,
Fine, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, fair enough. Can I show you a recording of a past event?
I don't care.
Izri turned back to his holographic screen where he again punched in a series of commands. The lighting in the room dimmed and turned into a three-dimensional hologram of Jade's old home before Spencer died. Jade looked up in amazement as she studied the details of what was projected before her. She became tempted to jump up and run into this virtual room but restrained herself, attempting not to appear too eager.
Now, Jade, what I'm about to show you may evoke some emotions, so if you want me to stop this, I will, okay?
Jade, still amazed by what she was viewing, gave a simple nod. Izri took this as a yes and allowed the virtual recording to continue. The room Jade was observing was her old kitchen. As she watched, the scene began to change. It was as if she was experiencing a three-dimensional event through someone else's eyes or playing a first-person video game. This person, whom she had not yet identified, walked over to a cabinet, retrieved a bowl, filled it with cereal, added milk, and started to eat as if they hadn't eaten for days. After finishing, they placed the bowl in the dishwasher, left the kitchen, moved through the living room, down a hallway, and entered a bedroom. At this point, Jade realized that the person she was watching was her past self, indulging in midnight snacks when she lived in her old home. The program continued, showing the virtual Jade lying in her bed and surfing the internet with one of her tablets. Suddenly, she sat up and asked,
Who's there?
She looked towards her bedroom door, called out,
Lights?
and saw her father, Spencer.
Oh, hi, Dad. You scared me.
I'm sorry, honey. That wasn't my intent.
Replied a virtual Spencer. As Jade observed the virtual Spencer, she noticed a slight bluish glow around him, which the virtual Jade didn't possess. She pointed out this discrepancy to Izri. Izri explained,
What you are seeing is your perception of the past, but now please turn back around and pay attention.
Jade complied without making any comments and continued to watch with amazement.
What do you want, Dad?
Asked the virtual Jade.
I would like to take a moment of your time and talk to you about something significant.
Replied the virtual Spencer in a subdued voice.
Okay, why are you talking like that? It's as if you're some sort of alien.
Laughed the virtual Jade.
Please listen.
The virtual Spencer said as he moved to the foot of the bed.
You need to get dressed. I want to take you to an extraordinary place. I'll meet you outside when you're ready.
As the virtual Jade tried to get more information, the virtual Spencer walked out of the bedroom. The virtual Jade quickly dressed and ran outside, where her father was waiting for her in the car.
Okay, I'm here. Now what?
In due time, sit back and relax.
Normally, the virtual Jade would have questioned her father about their destination, but for some reason, she sat back and relaxed. The drive took about an hour, and when they arrived, she noticed a stone path leading to a beautiful lake. They got out of the car and walked towards the lake, illuminated by the full moon. After finding a small rock to sit on, her father looked at her with a proud smile.
I brought you here because of the pure beauty of this overlooked event in our daily lives. There are moments like this where we lose sight of our true existence. I'm going to explain something that might be a little shocking, so please don't say anything until I'm done.
The virtual Jade nodded and listened attentively.
You are an extraordinary young lady.
At this point, Jade recalled more details and started to remember.
A time will come when you will be called upon for your assistance. You need to answer this call because you are of true descent.
Dad, what are you talking about?
Listen to me. Your body and mind have developed on Earth. I understand that what I'm telling you now doesn't make sense, but someday it will. I'm stressing that you must accept your fate and make the right decision.
And what decision is that?
You'll know when the time comes. Jade, unlike everyone else on this planet, you are a true native. Your mind, your being, your consciousness developed on its own without external influence. You are truly intelligent.
The virtual Spencer leaned over and placed his right hand on the virtual Jade's forehead. Within seconds, she realized that what she was hearing was true, but she didn't understand how to interpret this new information.
Who are you?
Asked the virtual Jade.
I am your father. Now look at this lake and accept what is plainly before you.
The three-dimensional environment faded, and Izri's office returned to the light.
I remember that.
Said Jade, tears streaming down her face.
I'm guessing you never really understood what your father meant. Is that correct?
No, I didn't. Was that really my father?
Yes, in a sense. That was his biological form.
His form?
What you saw was your father's physical presence, but his mind was temporarily being influenced by someone else. That's why he had a bluish glow.
Well, if that was someone's way of explaining who I was supposed to be, they did a terrible job. It just confused me. Who was controlling my dad, and why couldn't they give clear details?
It was I. And when I fed you this information, my faction wanted you to choose your path with minimal involvement from any outside influence. You see, when members from our planet meddle in the affairs of other humanoid species, it can alter their natural development.
What do you mean?
Remember last night when Serafina mentioned there had been only 2 newborns on this planet who developed their consciousness after rejecting our downloads?
Yes.
Well, Jade, you would be the second.
So, are you saying I'm the only one on Earth who isn't influenced by your planet?
Firstly, people on this planet are not under the control of drones. They are as human as you are. What we provided were foundational mental states that can be uploaded after their deaths. Your mind evolved independently, and when you pass on, you'll transition to the great unknown.
Jade regarded Izri as if he was the Grim Reaper, and she asked,
That doesn't make me feel comfortable.
It should. Jade, can't you grasp the significance of who you are? Among all the planets we've harvested, across countless field programs, you're one of only 2 humanoids who've ever developed without our intervention.
Jade sat there trying to process this bewildering information. Many thoughts raced through her mind. This could be some sort of prank, but she quickly dismissed that notion due to her suspicions about her uniqueness. Jade asked Izri,
So why am I here, and what's my significance?
I believe you hold the key to natural reproduction without scientific intervention. After the birth of the first anomaly, we attempted to study his uniqueness and formed many hypotheses. Unfortunately, we couldn't validate what we discovered.
Why not?
Because certain members of my planet discovered his identity. They influenced specific Earth humanoids indirectly to persecute and eventually execute him. This individual knew his importance and aimed to spread positive ideas and beliefs. Some of his teachings gained traction. He felt it was essential to teach Earth's humanoids the true meaning of life.
Jade interjected.
And what is that?
That's for you to discover. I won't teach it. When he died, we never learned of his connection with our planet. We have strong evidence suggesting that members from my planet collaborated with Earth's members to torture and kill him.
So, if I understand correctly, there might be a group of people who want me dead.
Possibly if they knew you were alive.
Why wouldn't they know?
Following the birth of the first anomaly, our faction decided to monitor all humanoid life on Earth to keep tabs on its total population. This was due to an opposing faction that viewed the anomaly as a threat. We believed this was the safer option. There was a debate, and the council concluded it was a natural fluke and dismissed it as such. After things returned to normal, we established this underground facility, staffed with both Earth humanoids and ours. Building this facility was a remarkable feat. We had to secure funds and resources without using our advanced technology from our home planet.
Is it because you couldn't transport it from your planet?
Exactly. We only had the knowledge we brought, and we could only apply it using Earth's technology. We managed to modify technology to suit our needs. which presented a dilemma. Do we share this knowledge with Earth's culture, or do we wait for them to develop it themselves?
So what did you do?
A bit of both. We integrated our members into Earth's scientific community by transferring their programs into humanoid shells. They aided in developing specific technical and scientific achievements. Simultaneously, we garnered the financial and political influence required for our goal. We broke ground for this facility on March 13, 1962, and it became operational on July 21, 1969, the day after the moon landing. Once operational, we started monitoring numerous activities, including the most crucial one, finding another anomaly like you. We succeeded on October 31, 2026.
That's my birthday.
Yes, and after our daily population count of Earth's field programs, we compared it to the actual population.
Jade cut in.
And you were off by one?
Yes, we had to locate that one, which was no small task.
How and when did you find me?
Using the technology and resources at our disposal, it took us 11 years, 5 months, and 19 days.
Jade quickly calculated.
So that would be September 5th, 2037. That's the day you contacted me using my dad's body.
Yes, and when we contacted you, we confirmed what we already suspected. Your predecessor was indeed more than just an anomaly. Evolution had once again triumphed over humanoids.
As Jade thought about how she might be a mutant freak, she started to grasp her potential importance to future generations of harvested humanoids. If she developed without alien influence, others like her could also be born, breaking a tradition of dependency. Jade understood why some on Izri's planet might be threatened by this, especially if their society's survival depended on harvesting humanoids.
And you're okay with this?
Jade inquired, hoping Izri wasn't intimidated by this evolutionary achievement.
Absolutely, Jade. We're here to protect you.
That's reassuring, but you must want something from me. I can't imagine someone putting in all this effort without expecting something in return.
You're astute, Jade. We do indeed need something from you.
Jade looked directly at Izri, her gaze intense.
And what exactly do you need from me?
We require your assistance in uncovering the means to reproduce without relying on our technological advancements.
Could you please clarify that?
Jade's expression showed her concern.
Don't worry. There's no dissection or anything uncomfortable involved. We believe that you hold the key to unlocking the knowledge we seek. Rumors among my people speak of a symbolic object that contains the secrets of our technical and biological achievements as a species. While we have managed the technical side, we've lost the biological aspect due to some members who consider those methods outdated.
What's my role in this?
We need you to transfer to our planet and make contact with this specific object. We believe your genetic coding can activate it. It's similar to what I did when I downloaded into this humanoid shell. Your Earth body will be preserved, and you'll be inserted into a Tureisian shell for the task. Once done, we'll download you back.
Jade's eyes widened with fear.
You're serious?
Completely. This is the only feasible way. Physical transportation between our planets would take too long.
What makes you think I can open it?
Our records suggest that the object, known as the Stone of Tureis, was created by our society. It holds the purest form of humanoid DNA and offers insight into our history. While it's readable, the crucial reproduction secret remains locked. You, being a product of your natural environment, might be able to access this hidden information.
So you want me to use my mind to unlock it?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Jade considered the opportunity.
It's pretty unique, I guess. How many teenagers can say they traveled to another planet, met the beings who started Earth, and hacked an ancient stone using their mind? An intriguing perspective. If you agree, I have 2 conditions.
What are they?
First, Reese needs to remain here with my body while I'm gone.
Izri smiled.
That's reasonable, and your second condition?
I want to know what happened to my father, Spencer Cade.
His field program was transferred to a newborn.
When?
I don't have the exact time, but it's fairly recent.
So he's basically an infant?
Yes.
He won't remember me, will he?
Unfortunately, no. Memories from the previous life are erased during the transfer to a new body. I'm sorry, Jade.
It's all right. At least a part of him lives on.
That's a mature way of seeing it.
Thanks, I guess.
On the bright side, you'll reunite with Reese soon. I understand you share a strong bond.
We do.
Jade replied with a smile.
Excellent. Your breakfast has arrived.
Izri said, motioning an assistant to place the food on the table.
Enjoy your meal. I have some matters to attend to. Feel free to use the holographic screen while I'm gone. I'll be back shortly, all right?
Okay.
Jade nodded, her heart heavy with the certainty that she'd never see her father again. She began to eat, tears held back, knowing the closure she sought had been achieved, yet the pain remained.